All right. Hi, everyone. I want to do a quick video on something that in the occult world is called lushing. Lushing. And it's a term used for when, like, if you may have experienced this before. I know I have. You'll be in sleep paralysis, and while you're in sleep paralysis and you cannot move, you feel as if energy is being drained out of you. It was drained out of my chest. I felt like I'll get into that experience here in just a moment or two. But I felt like energy was being drained out of my body. And when I finally got out of the sleep paralysis episode and got up and tried to walk to the bathroom so I could relieve myself, my legs felt like jello, man. I had no energy. I had to call off work, a lot of stuff, and based on that experience, folks, I believe that demonic entities can drain energy out of us during sleep paralysis if they can manifest strongly enough. Not something that everybody that gets sleep paralysis experiences, but not everybody that gets sleep paralysis has an entity enter their body. Not everyone gets pulled out of body. It's my opinion that that's based on how much energy they can manifest, right? Okay. Now, I don't want to lose you. I know a lot of you, I won't say a lot, but I know some of you get kind of bored with the Bible stuff. So, give me 30 seconds. Let me get through this. Let me show you in the Bible how this is supported by Scripture, and at least in my opinion. And then we'll move on to the more fringe stuff that I think interests a lot of you more. But anyways, okay. Leviticus 17:11. Okay, we're told, "For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that maketh atonement for the soul." Okay, this is Leviticus 17, when God is telling none of the Israelites, nor any of the sojourners that are staying with the Israelites, are allowed to drink blood whatsoever, folks. Okay? And I want to show you this word life right here. "For the life of the flesh is in the blood." That word life is nephesh. And it is also used for ghost, spirit, soul. Brown Driver Briggs has it soul, self, life. Okay, so for the life of the flesh is in the blood, for your soul, and you'll notice that word nephesh is also used for soul. So in one verse, we have the Hebrew word nephesh translated as life in English, and in souls as English, okay? And of course, if, understanding just basically what we know about the universe, we know that everything's made up of energy. Folks, your soul is made up of energy, right? There's a quality of energy to us. Even science will support that to an extent in some ways, about how every living human being has some type of an electrical charge in their spine. Now, I'm not going to bore everybody with that science, and quite honestly, it's been so long since I looked into that, I can't remember most of what I even read. Not important. Moving on. All right. So we've established that the word nephesh, the Hebrew word nephesh, stands for life and it stands for soul, right? Okay. And we've established that the Israelites are told, okay, in Leviticus 17:10 through 14, that they shall not drink any type of blood. Now, I would read this to you, but yeah, I recommend just going back and reading it for yourself. I want to move on in the video because I feel like a lot of people stop listening to these videos when I load up on a bunch of Bible verses, and I'm just going to tell you where it is, and those of you that are interested can go look it up on your own, right? Okay, now let's moving on. This individual, this Nephilim being named Amalek, right? Okay, Amalek, and he had people, his descendants, okay? And notice, once I've talked about this before, and notice how Esau, okay, Esau's line merged with some of the Amalekites, okay? Some of Esau's descendants merged with some of the descendants of the Amalekites, right? And I spoke about that before because the Bible says Esau was covered in hair. And right now, right here, we have a human being that was covered in hair that was allegedly, he started mating with a line of a Nephilim tribe, which could explain at least some of the Bigfoot mythology. I'm not going to get into that. This is not a Bigfoot video, but that's kind of where I get that. But here's what's important, right? In some rabbinical interpretations, Amalek is etymologized, the source of the word is Amalek, a people who lick blood. So, okay, the Hebrew people, okay, are telling you that their Hebrew word, and that word Amalek, and that name Amalek's given to this person because it is named for a people who lick blood. They drink blood, folks. A lot of people believe that the Amalek and that tribe is where a lot of the mythology that we get from vampires is today, right? Now, a lot of that, of course, is Probably nonsense. I mean, could they grow sharp fang teeth? You know, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I think a lot of it is just added on. But this I believe that it originates here with this tribe of Amalekites from this being named Amalek that we know that was a Nephilim. A Nephilim is a half angel, half human hybrid, right? Okay. Now, all right. Let me get my notes here. Okay. Now, once again, it seems the origin of the vampire mythology can be traced back to the Amalekites in the Bible, right? And we know that I've also covered, just kind of refreshing what we went through here, that God told the Israelites, do not drink any type of blood, right? Okay. Now, in vampirism, it mirrors something that the occult world would call lushing, right? Okay. Now, again, that's the experience that I described earlier, and I'm going to tell you my experience, folks. I had like some very, very terrible dreams. They were dreams of being chased, being murdered, okay? And then as of most of you that experience sleep paralysis a few times, you'll notice you'll have a horrible dream, and that will branch off and kind of end in a sleep paralysis experience. You'll sense the beings around you, right? And then you'll wake up. Well, during this experience, and I've had it happen several times too, but one experience was very profound. I was having the night terrors, okay, of being chased, someone trying to murder me, and that branched off into sleep paralysis. I'm in that in-between state, and I could feel something on my chest and feel as though energy is being sucked or pulled out of me from the middle of my chest, and that went on for like probably 10 or 12 seconds, and then I woke up and I felt like I was going to puke. I felt really weak. I needed to relieve myself, as I'd often every morning, you know, first thing I do, I got to use the bathroom, right? I get up, try to walk to the bathroom, and my legs feel like jello. I barely had the strength to make it to the bathroom, right? And I had to come back, lay down, and call off work. That's how physically drained I was, right? And this lushing is also a reason why I speculate that this is why people in the occult, like wizards and witches, are often depicted as being old people, because I've spoke to you before about how I believe that these demonic entities absorb our life force and it will make you prematurely age, right? The life is in the flesh, right? Or the life of the blood is in the flesh, right? Like I read to you earlier, okay? Now, it's my belief that these beings, they're experiencing some kind of sustenance through this. These demonic entities are interested in that energy for a reason. I believe it empowers them. I believe it gives them energy, much like food gives us energy. I believe in a lot of ways it is a type of food for them, folks. And I believe they might even experience, we know they experience elation from it, because you can feel, if you had a sleep paralysis experience like this enough, you'll start to realize they're energized and elated by this experience. Like, oftentimes you'll even see them smiling during the process, right? It almost might be like that they are, that they experience some kind of psychological rush or high in doing this, right? Almost like a human being who's taking, some type of drug, right, that would get you high, you know? That's my speculation. I'm not going to argue about that. It's just my theory I'm going to throw out to you, right? Okay, now we know that these beings can drain this energy or this life force, and we know that it's in the blood, right? Okay, now I want to draw the correlation to adrenochrome. Now, whether or not you believe that adrenochrome is a real substance that's drained from human beings during torture when they end their life, folks, that's up to you. I'm not telling anyone what to believe. But now let me explain to you what exactly a real adrenochrome, authentic adrenochrome, is allegedly supposed to be, right? Okay. Now people say these satanic cults, okay, or these Luciferian cults, and they say it's purest in children because you can the energy and the anxiety you can create in a child is of a higher level than it can be in an adult. Now it is speculated, right? Okay, that these cults will kidnap children. They will torture children, sexually abuse children, and get children in an absolutely petrified state, right? Okay. And then I got to be careful what I say, because I don't want to get this video flagged, okay? But let's just say they're hung upside down, and this adrenochrome the adrenaline released in the blood, and it's also found, I guess, in the pineal gland. This substance that they want, that they call adrenochrome, is released. They can get it in a couple different ways, but it results in the victim dying, right? Now, you'll see this in a lot of modern occult films like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Johnny Depp's character, he's playing Hunter S. Thompson, and I believe he uses an eyedropper and drops it in his eye, and they say that it's so intense it makes you hallucinate, and it's a combination between like some really intense cocaine and DMT. Some people say, don't know, never tried it, can't argue that, but it seems to be portrayed in that manner that it's psychedelic, it'll make you hallucinate, and you also get a really intense like buzz that's similar to cocaine out of it. Now, it's also depicted, I believe it was in the Podesta emails. My friend Dale sent me this. He reminded me of this, that they call it walnut sauce, or it's believed to be referenced in some of those emails as walnut sauce. Walnut meaning your brain. You know how a walnut kind of looks like a brain, okay? And sauce meaning the liquid that's extracted, right? You know, the adrenochrome in liquid form, because it's said to be in the pineal gland, right? And they extract it out of the pineal gland, out of your brain, walnut sauce, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I've also heard it called, referred to as white rabbit, even though the crystallized form does not seem to be white. It seems to be a very, very dark brown or almost a black, and you'll see it depicted in occult movies when they're sniffing like the black powder or whatnot. You know, that could be a reference to adrenochrome. Okay. Now, if these satanic cults that worship these demons are doing this practice, it's my speculation, okay, that they could be trying to get to that same life force energy through adrenochrome that these demonic entities in the spirit realms, when they put you in sleep paralysis, they can drain that type of terrified energy out of you in the spiritual. But if you wanted to drain that or get access to that type of energy in the natural, you would need to do it by natural means, a la adrenochrome, right? They put a person or a child into an intense type of terror, get the adrenaline pumping in their blood, get those other chemicals released in the blood, and then drain the blood or extract this from the pineal gland, right? Okay. And I believe there could be a correlation there. And that's why I want to do this video. Not necessarily to tell you that this is true, because I can't prove it, but to just put the theory out there that if you look around and you start piecing stuff together, right, and you start trying to figure out, why is this energy desirable to demonic entities? Why is this energy desirable, allegedly, to satanic cults and whatnot, folks? This could be what we're dealing with, right? And this could be what the Amalekites in the Bible with these tribes were into, folks. I don't believe any of this is new, right? It could very well be that this is an ancient sacrificial practice that was actually practiced by these Nephilim cults that are credited for drinking blood, like I explained to you earlier about the Amalekites, folks, okay? So I just wanted to put together a quick video and explain this to you guys, because I know that those of you in my sleep paralysis group that have experienced the sleep paralysis attack in which you have the energy drained from you, and then after you get out of that sleep paralysis attack, you snap out of it. When you get up and try to move around, you feel extremely drained, like the experiences that I have had before. So I know that would be relevant to you guys, and you've also, if you've had enough sleep paralysis experience, you start to understand that every time they want to drive up your terror, they want to drive up your fear, and they seem to be absorbing that energy and experiencing sustenance and elation from that energy that they're draining from you, folks. And I think that mirrors a lot in what we see in this culture and what we are told that adrenochrome could be. Now, there is a synthetic drug called adrenochrome. I am not telling you that that's not what I'm talking about here, folks. The synthetic adrenochrome that is in the medical community has nothing to do with what I'm telling you here, okay? That is synthetic, okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and argue and debate about what's real and what's not and what you can order and blah, 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 because I'm not interested in that, folks. Now, whether you can order adrenochrome from China, that's not my interest. Maybe, maybe not. But I do believe it's highly possible that we do have Luciferian and satanic cults that do extract adrenochrome from victims, and they very well might be using it. It's very, very possible that you experience some type of intense euphoria that can lead to hallucinations and give you a rush like this, similar to as if you're snorting or shooting cocaine, folks. Okay, that's my suspicion, okay? And moving forward until something else changes my mind, I'm going to continue to look at every bit of evidence that covers that to try to either confirm or deny this theory that I have now, folks. Now, do whatever you want with that, Gotta take that. Just, it's my hopes in producing this video is that you'll remember that you heard me mention it, okay? And if you see that theme in a movie or mentioned in songs and music, folks, pay attention to what's being said. Listen, because you'll understand the reference now, because I've explained to you kind of like the beginning, like the kind of 101 on what this means and what that symbology is when you see it in movies and whatnot. So again, I mean, like the eyedropper in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, or the movies where you see where they're snorting a dark, very, very dark brown, dark red, or black substance. These might be references to adrenochrome, folks, so pay attention to the movie. Pay attention to what happens. Pay attention to the symbology in the movie, right? Is there sacrifice in the movie? Are you seeing like the pyramids or the all-seeing eye in the movie, folks? Okay, is it a movie about ascending to godhood? Pay attention to that type of stuff, and you'll soon realize that a lot of that stuff, a lot of those themes, that these people are preaching their satanic gospel to us through movies and music, folks. Most of us, the preaching of God's kingdom and the preaching of the gospel mostly comes from the pulpit, folks. That's not what Satan uses. Satan's preachers are musicians and movie stars, folks. Satan's gospel is preached through the media of movie and music and related videos, right? Okay? And I just want you guys to understand that now, that's the most profound way of how Satan has brainwashed this generation, folks. We got it in the movies and the music, right? And it's always laced with some type of truth. When I was living a worldly lifestyle, there's actually a lot of truth in Eminem's songs about how we relate to people, how we get treated by people. There's a lot of what we could think is truth in that if you're living a worldly life. But when when you actually get saved and born again, and you're reading the gospel, you understand that's satanic line of thinking, folks. If you think like that, you're on the path to destruction and straight to hell. I don't want to get off and preach a sermon here, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video now, folks, but I just want to get you guys familiar with these adrenochrome themes on a basic level, and I'm going to continue to study it, and if I find anything more that I think that's relevant or you guys will be interested in, I'll make a video on it and I'll post it. Until next time, folks, God bless you all in Jesus' name.